Hi.
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 Hi. I'm Rexy Pukinikin.
I'm Rexy Pukinikin.
I'm Rexy Pukinikin. And we're balling. And we're balling.
And we're balling.
Today. Tomorrow.
And maybe yesterday.
At what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost? Woo! We're gonna be balling now, like for real. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Ballin' at What Cost. You are joined by me, Rexy Pukinikin. I could catch balls. I can make play calls. I can break a fall and stand tall. Bars off the rip. I don't know. That's all I gotta give you. I'm gonna just get straight to the point because the week that's coming up, the weekend that's coming up as well. A lot of big stuff, a lot of important stuff. We have NFL divisional rounds, okay? And yeah, it definitely gets me excited. 6 games in total. Oh no, sorry. What am I talking about? Wait, no. 4 games in total, but 6 games were played last weekend. So then we got 4 left to go. And then after this, it's gonna be divisional. It's gonna be divisional champs. Oh no, divisional round. Yeah. And then after that, we'll see what happens. 4 games. That means 8 teams. Let's see, because truthfully, some crazy stuff happened in the wild card. And some crazy stuff, some not so crazy stuff. I don't know. I think overall the games were pretty exciting. I'm going to go through them real quick. I'm going to start off with the one that stings the most, but I'm not going to get too into it because it stings a little bit. But, I can't dive into it that deep because there's no use diving into to this game too deep. Seahawks versus the 49ers. Listen. I was praying for my boy Pete. I was praying for my boy Gino. I was praying for Lockett and Metcalf. But 49ers are the 49ers. What are you going to do, really, against the gold and the red and that defense that look like, they could be the fucking, the defense looks like, if you put them in the front lines of some fucking ancient war, I'd just give up instantly after seeing them, across the horizon or some shit, dude, the defense is scary. You really can't do nothing against that defense. 49ers, they just somehow always got their shit together. They got some real... They somehow they just brew up something all the time, and it's scary, dude. If Kittle and Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy, that trio, just if they keep on going at the road they're going, I mean, dude, what are we talking about? Super Bowl is only 2 games away for those guys. It could get real serious. It is already pretty darn serious, but now it could get real serious. So I'm going to move on, though. The next one is the craziest one. The Jaguars go against the Chargers, and I think I said that it was going to be pretty competitive. I think so. And I wanted Trevor Lawrence to pull off the win. Not because I dislike the Chargers. I just think the Chargers, you can't. They're only kind of, scraping to get to the playoffs. They should be dominating and then, being real contenders. But they kind of just made it there. And then they're going against Jaguars. I guess you could kind of take the same perspective. I just personally I've seen that the Jaguars actually have something pretty special, especially in the offense, right? So the Chargers come out freaking absolutely swinging in the game. Swinging. I'm talking swinging. So then the Chargers are up 27-0 against the Jaguars. And what does my boy Trevor Lawrence do? He fucking pulls it right back. He pulls it all the way back. Third biggest comeback in NFL playoff history. And let's see here. It was a real close game. I think the Jaguars beat the Chargers 31-30. And, oh, man, it was, I mean, if you're looking at records, and I think this, I don't know what the betting lines were, but I think, Jaguars were the underdog going into this one. And the fact that they come back from being down 27 points is just ridiculous. We've seen some crazy comebacks this season in football, and it's kind of crazy that another one just happened in the playoffs. Like, I thought the Vikings won against the Colts, like that was that, for the season. But now we got this, and it just shows you how talented Jaguars are. Like, it's no bullshit. Like, they're not bullshitting around. Personally, I don't like. They lost games that they should have won. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, they should have beat like Broncos in London when they played them. They were just like making a few mistakes, couple losses during the regular season, but I think they were for reals the whole time. They always had something in their back pocket that makes them be able to contend in the playoffs like this. So, dude, after that, I know for a fact that, like, team-wise, they're feeling on fire, and that's why, let me get into the betting odds later, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jaguars, even if they are underdogs, they're not as big of underdogs anymore because, dude, they probably feel like they are the shit. And they currently are the shit. Like, after doing that, first time in a while since their organization been in the playoffs, like, come on, dude. And they rebuilt in, like, 3 years. I don't understand. Like, that's fucking crazy. It's mind-blowing to me. Okay, but I'm going to fucking go on because this is only recap. I'm trying to fucking get down and dirty into the fucking, previews. You know what I'm saying? All right, Bills versus Dolphins. So listen, this one, I unfortunately did not watch live, so I'm not going to talk about it like I knew what happened every single minute of the game. But I watched all the highlights. I watched most of the game afterwards. I'd say, it's just a little bit when you don't have your starting quarterback for the Dolphins, what are you doing? Yeah, or not like what are you doing? It's like what are you going to do? You can't really maximize everything, right? No matter how decent or okay the other quarterback can play, you're not going to have that chemistry. You're not going to have that confidence. And you can't sling it deep to Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Like I said, that was the only way you were going to beat the Bills. I think the Dolphins defense could have done a bit better of a job. But then again, they were giving the Bills, a run for their money. I think Bills, were feeling really good about this game and thought it would be a relatively easy game. But I mean, it was a high scoring game, 34-31. The Bills beat the Dolphins. And, I mean, I really can't say anything about the Dolphins. I think it's quite similar to the Chargers this season. They have something there, but they need to fully unlock that specialty that, got them to the playoffs in the first place. So I'm not going to I really like the Dolphins. I love the wide receiver duo. Most importantly, I fucking love the head coach. McDaniel was literally ripping a fucking vape mid-game. Like, he has, like, the fucking vape stick. Like, he's just ripping that Nicky, like, the whole time, bro. Fucking thinking about... Dude, think about how crazy his brain is thinking. This guy's literally, fucking authors and artists. They're like insanely addicted to fucking nicotine because it makes them think in a weird way. They go into this fucking like weird mental state where you can just fucking, some authors I've heard, they literally just fucking, or poets or some shit like that. They're literally just fucking, they gotta have this like nicotine in their fucking brain, in their lungs the whole time. So, dude, imagine McDaniel, he's fucking ripping the shit out of this Nikki, and she's just, like, looking through the playbook. He's like, fuck this, dog. Fucking takes out a little notebook that he's, like written down some other notebooks, fucking pulls it out. He's like, yeah, I'm going to make him do this. And then it's, like, only play calls that he's, like, suggested when he was, like, out in a bar or a restaurant with the fucking players or some shit. So, what a fucking legend. And shout out to the Bills for playing perfectly and not falling under pressure, because if the Bills made one or two mistakes, this game could have been the other way around. So shout out to the Bills. They move on, and then good luck for the Dolphins in the offseason. That's for sure. And I don't think they had a bad season at all, as long as they only go, if only if they improve, then, all right. Next one. See, this next one, this is a crazy one too. And I don't think a lot of people saw this coming, but I kind of saw this coming. I definitely mentioned it last week when I said Giants versus Vikings. It's going to be much more even than a lot of people are going to think it's going to be. A lot of people probably were pretty confident on the Vikings, but only I saw too. Yeah, right? Only I saw. There's this little flaw, that if Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, if they can ball out, they can do their thing in a very calculated way against the Vikings defense, they can definitely do some damage, and that's what fucking absolutely happened. Dan Jones, Saquon B, like those boys just balled out. They had to do it against the Vikings, and then, they covered Justin Jefferson well enough, and Kirk Thuggins was nowhere to be found. It was Kirk, second cousin that was there. So, yeah, it was, and it's great to see New York, up there in the divisional rounds. Giants haven't been to the playoffs in a good while, and kind of crazy too. Daniel Jones kind of has only gotten better each season. I remember there were like a season or two where he was absolutely getting shit on by sports media, but now he's pulled it back and he's in the divisional rounds, and he's fucking putting up some stats too. I'm gonna fucking pull this out real quick, but I think he might have had one of the best QB performances from the wild card. Let's see this real quick. Yeah, Daniel Jones, 24 completed passes, 35 attempts, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So what are we talking about? This guy is absolutely fucking legend. Rushing, like, here we go. This is what I'm saying. Rushing yards, Daniel Jones, 17 carries, 78 yards, led the fucking team in offense with rushing yards. Had fucking, how many? 8 more carries than Saquon Barkley, around 20 more yards rushing, except Saquon Barkley just got those touchdowns and was able to average a little bit more yards. But, dude, come on, dude. This guy's a legend. And the fucking thing is, yes, they did do rushing yards, but equally, they threw two touchdowns. Like, he threw 2 touchdowns to 2 different receivers, right? So I think that's very good. That's signs of like very good stuff, because they're not afraid of also slinging it to the freaking touchdown zone, which is awesome. And if they play like this, dude, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know, dude. If they're playing like this, man, they can do some crazy stuff as well, dude. They can do some serious fucking damage. But I'm like, that's for a little later. But all you need to know is they fucking went crazy to keep the playoff run alive. Next up, Joey B and the Bengals beat the Ravens with relative ease. Baltimore has a very legitimate defense, so at the end of the day, it's not like the Bengals fucking destroyed the Ravens. But I don't think they were like struggling or really scared at any point. I'm predicting after all of this, Lamar Jackson Jr., the starting quarterback of the Ravens, he wasn't playing. So, it also just comes to show, Dolphins, you don't start your, main quarterback, you lose. Same with the Ravens, when you have a talented quarterback, you want to try to play him. I get you got to, make sure they're healthy and that, they don't fucking kill themselves on the fucking field. But at the same time, there's a big difference that these really talented quarterbacks bring in to the team and the offense, So I'm saying, because the big thing now is going to be Lamar Jackson Jr.'s future in Baltimore, and I think he's dipping, personally. I think Baltimore, they're not going to spend all that money for just a quarterback and then knowing that they have to spend more money on other pieces as well. It's not just Lamar Jackson Jr. I really doubt that they're going to fucking start developing again, if they fucking buy out Lamar Jackson Jr. or not buy out, but offer him the freaking max or whatever. So I think Lamar Jackson Jr. is just going to go somewhere where there's already like a solid base to move forward. So I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe Lamar Jackson Jr. is like a loyal guy and Baltimore spits out the money with relative ease. But otherwise, Bengals move forward into the divisional round. I do have to say, though, with the Ravens having a very strong defense, and, you could see that it caused the Bengals a little bit of trouble. The Bengals beat the Ravens 24-17, right? And, just based on the box score, Bengals only scored a field goal. The first quarter, second quarter, 1 touchdown. Third quarter, 1 touchdown. Fourth quarter, 1 touchdown. So it's like, I feel like they gotta somehow, I really need to see that I really need to see that Joe Burrow, fucking Jamar Chase domination a little bit. I get the Ravens have a very fucking decent defense all around, so it's pretty hard. But man, from now onwards, like, the Bengals need to know how to pop off a little bit more. I think no matter what kind of defense they're going against, because I think at the end of the day, that's what decides it all. It's how they can deal with like good defenses. If they can overcome good defenses, then I think they, Super Bowl win, they can do anything. But right now, it's a little bit, if they divisional round right now coming up, I'm shortly gonna get into it, but if they go against the Bills and the Bills defense locks them up, then it's gonna be a hard matchup. But all right, lastly, there's one more game that needs to be talked about, just because I have to talk about every wild card game that just happened last week, or actually this happened this week, a few days ago. But Cowboys versus Buccaneers. Well, Cowboys beat the Buccaneers. Buccaneers weren't able to do much. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Cowboys have a very good rushing game, and they're going to use it. But the big question is, was this the GOAT's, Tom Brady's last NFL game ever? Was this his last game in the Buccaneers organization? Is this his last game? You know, who knows? I personally think that Tom Brady's so into the game that I don't think he's retiring yet. To be honest, I really don't think so. Like, now he doesn't have any excuses, really. Like, he got divorced now. He did. There's nothing outside of football for him. You know, it's not that sinister, but like realistically, if you think about it, like, he knows he can still have a fun time later on. But now when he's still, like, literally skill wise, still top 10 quarterbacks, then maybe not this season, but overall I still think top 10 quarterbacks, like, as of right now. Honestly, active wise, he might be still top 10, who knows, like, this season. But right now we just gotta see. Everybody needs to not stress out about it. Like, you gotta let him take his natural course. I feel like the fucking sports media gotta be real careful with this time, you know. You guys gotta give him the space and time to make a fucking rational decision. And I think at the end of the day, his head has been banged up so many fucking times, and he's thrown so many balls, so many goddamn plays, so many times where his brain is filled with just plays and fucking theory about, like, American football. So it's like, I don't think he's leaving the sport. I don't think so. There's a very good chance he's never going to leave the sport. Even when he retires, he goes straight into an analyst position. He gets paid even more than he gets paid as a fucking athlete. Like, I don't think he's ever going to leave. And everybody likes him, and his family's gone now. What are you going to fucking do? So it's just like, he's just going to become a savage, like he's always been. So just shout out fucking Tom Brady, bro. Do whatever you want to do with your life. I'm a fucking supporter. You're a fucking legend, bro. Like, you're a fucking legend. That's that. All right. That was the wild card. Wild card. And now let's get into the divisional round a little bit. Let's start off with AFC. First game of the AFC divisional round. We got the Jaguars versus the Chiefs. So listen, everyone's going like, Chiefs got this. Chiefs are lit. You know, Patty Mahomes, you know, future GOAT, Travis Kelce, whatever. But I'm just saying, if Trevor Lawrence finds more than one wide receiver consistently in the first half already, then it's game over. If he throws, I'm saying, if he throws 3 touchdowns, or if he throws 2 touchdowns and it's to 2 different wide receivers within the first half, then they're beating the Chiefs. That's my call. Because if Trevor Lawrence can find that fucking, like, just that flow state with his wide receivers, it's done. It's done. I don't care. I don't think the Chiefs' defense can hang. And I think that will be more dangerous offensively than Mahomes, Kelce duo. But what will happen if Trevor Lawrence doesn't find his wide receivers is then we'll get a Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce fucking classic. Like, absolute domination. Juju Smith-Schuster might get a fucking touchdown. I don't know. But, you know, it's tough to say. I don't know. I just have this small doubt about the Chiefs this season. I feel like if the Chiefs are going to win their second ring, I feel like it's going to be another, like, real dominant. Like, because this year we've kind of just thought, like, Eagles, Eagles were like dominating first half of the season, and then like second half of the season, it was like more like 49ers were like the fucking dominant ones. And Chiefs were never like the dominant, team this year. So, man, oof, it's gonna be a tough one, dude. This one's gonna be crazy. I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't even remember when's the last time I've seen Jaguars play the Chiefs, to be honest. Like, even regular season game, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've skipped out on this matchup before. So this one's going to be... But now my interest has fucking peaked with this matchup. So let's see what happens. Next one of the divisional round. Bills versus fucking Bengals. All right, B versus B. You know what I'm saying? And this one is completely different perspective. Dude, this one just might be, if the D-line of the Bills, if the defensive line of the Bills overpower the offensive line of the Bengals, I think that's what's going to decide the game. If the Bills are able to put so much pressure into the pocket and then cause Joey B to make a mistake or just a sack, I think that's what's going to decide the game. Like, I would even say, like, you can have like a whole fucking game of like one team scores a touchdown, then another team scores a touchdown. But I think like when it gets to the end, it's going to be like one or two big plays by the defensive line against the, Bengals offensive line. And that's what's going to decide it. Or it could be like the other way around, where the offensive line of the Bengals just do a very fucking good job on clutching up and protecting Joey B, so then Joey B can fucking sling some serious shit to fucking Chase, So, or Boyd. I think Boyd might do some crazy shit this playoff. Like, as long as the Bengals are in the playoffs, I think Tyler Boyd might do some crazy shit. And that's the thing. Like, you could fucking throw it to Tyler Boyd as well. And that kid's fucking insane. Right? So, let's see. If it isn't up to if I'm completely wrong and it's not up to the defensive coordinator calls, then we're just going to have two very fucking good quarterback / wide receiver duo matchups. We're going to have Josh Allen slinging it to fucking Stephon Diggs, and then we're going to have Joey B slinging it out to Chase or Boyd or both, or who knows. Because I'll tell you, too, Dawson Knox can catch a motherfucking ball, dude. That fucking redneck hippie can fucking catch a ball from Josh Allen. So Dawson Knox as well is a fucking dangerous man when it comes to the Bills offense. Okay. So I just hope both, dude, these two white boy quarterbacks, they can fucking throw. I'll tell you, they can throw and run and fucking do it all. Both of these two, they're savages. I'm a big fan of both quarterbacks. So let's just get this on. I want to see who comes out on top and who's the elite of the elite. God damn, I'm fired up right now. Holy shit. All right, going on to the NFC divisional round. We got fucking Giants versus Eagles, right? I'm saying if Jalen Hurts is playing, I don't really know if Jalen Hurts is playing. I haven't read the fucking injury report. And who knows at the end of the day if fucking Jalen Hurts just gets pulled out last minute, even if he is playing now. Like, I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. If Jalen Hurts finds his wide receivers and the Eagles defense do what they're supposed to do and the offensive line does what they're supposed to do, I'm saying the Eagles beat the Giants. Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be a close game. I'm not saying it's going to be a very lopsided game. I'm just kind of saying, all right, guys, I really don't know what's going to happen. Eagles might do what they're expected to do. I think they're playing at the freaking Philly too. So, just that fact is like Philly has quite a lot of home support. So, we'll see. I think the Eagles defense is decent enough to realize. Yeah, exactly. They're playing in Philly, so it's gonna be a tough home crowd to overcome. But it's just I think Philly's got a super legit defense that I just don't know if the Giants can get through. I think not the only way, but a good way for the Giants to be able to battle the defense of the Eagles is maybe you start throwing it a little bit more other than running. I think Daniel Jones got to be really careful that he, because the defense are going to be out to get Daniel Jones, dude. Like every time he takes off running, they're going to try to fucking murder him and get the ball out of his hands. So, it's going to be dude, if I was Daniel Jones, I'd be shitting myself a little bit. I ain't going to lie. I'm going to try to give it to Saquon all the time. But that's the thing. I don't think Giants are going to win without taking a risk. So if Giants take a risk, I suggest they fucking start just throwing the ball deep. If, as long as you don't get an interception, whatever. If it's incomplete, what are you going to do? But, I think that's the only way. Because otherwise, Eagles, they have a very good system. They're when it comes to like being a team, I think they're one of the most complete teams this season. So good luck to the Giants, and fly, Eagles, fly, or fly, bird, fly. Yeah. Kevin Hart will be happy, I think. Last game, Cowboys versus 49ers. I'm not particularly the biggest fan of either organization. I appreciate the 49ers at least for, being, providing some legendary Hall of Fame teams, moments, players in the NFL history. But Cowboys is like, okay. I think it's so difficult to beat Brock Purdy with the help of a tight end in George Kittle and a fucking running back / wide receiver in Christian McCaffrey. Like, they are both insane. And Brock Purdy's doing fucking pretty well, proving himself that he's a legit quarterback. And when it comes to the fact that Cowboys offense is mostly based on running, and the 49ers defense ain't letting no one run more than a yard or two. So what the fuck are we talking about? Let's see if the Cowboys are even going to score 2 touchdowns, because right now I feel like they aren't. Okay, I'm predicting Cowboys ain't even scoring 2 touchdowns. They might score 1 and a shit ton of field goals, but they ain't going to get the second touchdown against the 49ers, man. They're too savage right now. They're absolutely way too savage. I'm a little bit, it intimidates me. The 49ers intimidate me. I ain't gonna lie. Tony Montana. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's crazy. It's craziness. But that's the last game of the NFC, the divisional round. I think it's also the last game. Yeah. Not even of the NFC divisional round, of the whole divisional round. That's going to be Monday night. Oh, no, it's going to be Sunday. Yeah. So Saturday, we're going to have Jaguars versus Chiefs first, and later in the evening, Giants versus Eagles. And then we are going to have Sunday night, starting off with Bengals versus Bills, and then it ends with Cowboys versus 49ers. I am fucking hyped up. I am going to try to tune into every single freaking game, every single minute of every single game. I'm going to be degenning this weekend, just watching sports, staying up, not getting any sleep, but I don't care. I want to watch my live broadcast because... And it's not only NFL, ladies and gentlemen. The fucking Giants game versus the Eagles. It starts at 3:15 on Sunday morning for me. But, that ain't going to be a fucking problem because UFC 283 is also on during the same time. I'm pretty sure the prelims actually start exactly at 3 o'clock. So let me get into it straight away. 283 is going to be happening in fucking Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I don't know if that's racist, but I think they actually pronounce it kind of like that. I think, Brazilian, that's or Portuguese or what. But the way it just flows, off the tongue, it's kind of sexy. I ain't gonna lie. But let me get into this, dude, because first of all, I think Brazil is one of the most prominent countries when it comes to mixed martial arts. I think Brazil's top 3. I don't know stats wise if they are number 1 when it comes to MMA and, but I know MMA, or not MMA, sorry, martial arts in general has been historically dated back thousands of years in Brazilian culture. So just because of that, we have those guys are savages. It's literally in their blood to know how to fucking outsmart, fucking destroy another person. Okay, so because we are in Brazil this weekend, the UFC at least, every single fight of the night, there is a Brazilian fighter ready to take the fucking head off, or the ankle, or the knee, or the back, or the freaking, liver. They're trying to dismember the opponent, okay? And the Brazilian crowd is going to be fucking rowdy and ready to rock, absolutely ready to rock against anyone that's going against a Brazilian. And 3:15, while I'm watching the Eagles put on a show against the Giants, I don't know, who knows, but let's just say that's going to happen. Prelims are going to start during the same time. And there's two motherfuckers that I want to just talk about from the prelims. They are absolute fucking savages, okay? First one is this guy called Jailton Almeida. And I'm talking Triple B, big black Brazilian, and he is fucking intimidating, bro. He is intimidating. I saw this guy beat up the whitest guy ever his last fight, and that white boy got absolutely picked apart. Not, destroyed, yes, but not like just, I'm talking picked apart by a guy who doesn't even need to pick apart anyone, Jailton Almeida, he's so big and powerful, he could just fucking lay it on you and you wouldn't have an answer, or most wouldn't have an answer. But the fact that very Cyril Gane-esque, where you're so big and strong and powerful, but instead you still decide to be precise and, just skillful and just strategic. It's those are the scariest type of people, in my opinion. That's why Anderson Silva was a goddamn savage, because Anderson Silva, even though he could just lay it on you, he takes his time and makes sure he actually 100% gets the job done. And this is that guy right here, dude. I wish you could see a picture of this guy. He looks so fucking scary, it's not even funny. His body is insane, and I actually think he fought at light heavyweight his previous matchup, and I think he went up to heavyweight now. I could be wrong, but oh, he's so scary. Oh God, he's so scary. He's only had 3 fights in the UFC. He's won all 3. No fucking, you don't have to go to decision. It's either a KO or it's a submission. I think this guy was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Just the thing, and the fact that he is fucking big and huge, and Jesus, he can definitely I just don't know. He's 13 first round finishes, 17-2. He's got 6 knockouts under his belt as well. It's like, what are we talking about? He's going against some Russian, probably from Dagestan, but we're just talking about an absolute physical specimen too. So that guy, I am gonna be watching him, because this guy, he's gonna do some serious damage in the heavier fucking divisions coming up. He's gonna be a contender latest by next year. I have no doubt. This guy is so scary. Oh my Jesus fucking Christ! Last fight of the prelims, we have another Brazilian, but this one's already solidified his legacy as a fucking legend in the sport of mixed martial arts, and we're talking about Mauricio Shogun Rua. He has a lightweight heavyweight bout against this freaking Ukrainian dude. And look, I'm not here to talk about necessarily what's gonna happen, what won't happen, but just gotta give a big shout out, because Shogun Rua still fucking out here absolutely killing it. This man has had so many fights and has been fighting for so long. It is absolutely crazy. He's 41 years old. He's been in the UFC since 2007. Holy Jesus, that's more than 15 years. He's a Muay Thai specialist. He likes to kick. He likes to punch. He's not much of a submission artist, which is actually kind of rare, because usually, think Brazil, you just think Brazilian jiu-jitsu. No, but this guy is just a fucking veteran with just a born fighter, just a born freaking fighter. So let's see. And this guy's a savage, dude. He barely ever goes to decision. So either he just lays it all out there. If he gets picked apart, so be it. But he lays it all out there, and I'm definitely gonna be watching this fight. He's 41 years old. He's going against the Ukrainian fella. Let's see, that's 26. Has had only one fight in the UFC, so who knows? Maybe this time experience will. It's a classic experience versus rookie, legend versus someone that's trying to climb up the ranks, and let's see what happens. Very banger fucking matchup to end the prelims. That's all I gotta say. But let's just jump straight into the fucking main card that is going to start at 5 a.m. So by then, my fucking brain's going to be scrambled. I just watched Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley somehow pull off like a fucking halftime down by 2 touchdown fucking comeback. And then now Giants are somehow fucking beating them. And I don't know what the fuck is going on. My brain's fucking fried. It's like Sunday early morning. I still got to celebrate the Lord's Day. And then the next night still watch more NFL. And it's Chinese New Year. It's fucking craziness. But we're going to keep on going. First, main card fight that I want to mention is the second fight of the main card. It's a flyweight bout against Lauren Murphy against Jessica Andrade, and both numbered contenders. Lauren Murphy was number 4 in the flyweight division, and Jessica was number 6 in the flyweight division. I think they both skill-wise, it's just another one of those stylistic matchups. I think if we're talking about general skill-wise, like all around, I think they're very even. But Lauren Murphy is she's a very jab-happy, keep the distance, very good at keeping her distance, but more on the feet. and Jessica Andrade is more closing up the distance and outpowering and grappling and whatnot. So stylistic, we just have to kind of see which way it goes, which style of fight we're gonna get, and if anything, I have a feeling that it might just go the distance, and if it goes the distance, who knows? It will be whichever style of fighting dominated. But if it doesn't go to decision, I have a very strong feeling that Jessica Andrade might get the submission within 3 rounds on Lauren Murphy, because Jessica, very fucking well-conditioned Brazilian lady who is fucking savage, who can definitely take down a lot of chicks and not be tired at all. So, it's going to be a scary matchup for Lauren Murphy, but you never know. Lauren Murphy, she's got a very, very good defense, all-around defense. I think some of her best performances, she's barely ever gone touch. So shout out to both ladies, and let's see them put on a show. Third fight, the fight after this is a welterweight bout against the Brazilian Gilbert Burns, best Brazilian fighter in the welterweight for sure, versus Neil Magny. And size-wise, I think, even if I think Gilbert Burns just takes this. I have a feeling Burns is going to dominate. The only way I could actually see this Magny taking this if he lands a lucky shot, or if it goes to decision and it was a relatively boring fight and nothing really went on, and then somehow Magny pulls a split decision out of his ass. But otherwise, I think Burns might fucking ragdoll Neil Magny, knock him out, submit him, freaking throw him around. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think Burns is gonna still be on the top of the welterweight division for a while, which is crazy. I feel like the welterweight division nowadays, there's a lot of guys who can be consistent with their skill and level. And yeah, dude, if you really think about it, welterweight, the top contenders of the welterweight, they ain't moving around. They're fucking good, and they're gonna stay good, or have already stayed pretty damn good. So that's that with that matchup. I just wanted to mention it because Gilbert Burns has been a savage, and a welterweight fight is always a fun fight to watch. And the next fight after this is the goddamn co-main event, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about it's going to be the fight for the flyweight unified champion of the world, Deiveson Figueiredo, who's the current champion, versus Brandon Moreno, who's the interim champion. Quadrilogy fight, the 4th time these gentlemen are going against each other in the UFC octagon. High stakes, because ladies and gentlemen, I seriously doubt these gentlemen want to fight each other ever again after this. And this is the real last fucking decider, okay? I think it's going to be a war. I have a feeling that, these two men are both they can get finishes. Both men could get finishes. Both men are very fucking dangerous when it comes to other people, but I feel like when it's them two, the skill level is so similar. The skill gap, there's practically no skill gap, and both of them respond so well to each other's tactics. So I think it's gonna be a 5-round war, and Brandon Moreno wins by unanimous decision. That's my opinion. I know it might be a bit of a boring one, but because I could just say I could say anything, and it's probably going to happen. Like, I could say Figueiredo, fucking submission 2nd round. I could say Brandon Moreno, fucking TKO 4th round. You know, all of those can really happen because they're both so good, and the smallest mistake might, cause the whole fight to change. But let's just say both men are so on top of their game. I think it's just going to go all the way to decision. Both men are going to put on the fucking absolute war, lay it all out on the line, and Brandon Moreno takes the decision. That's my call. I really think something about being in Brazilian crowds a little bit, historically, I think only one of these, either the co-main event or the main event, the Brazilian wins the championship. I think it's a little bit chalked if you expect. Dude, it would be freaking nuts if somebody put down a fucking parlay for UFC 283 and bet only Brazilians money line. Oh my God, should I do that? That would be fucking, like, oh my God, if that happens, I think like that would be like world news. I think that like literally might become like one of the biggest topics in sports this year. If like UFC threw an MMA event in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, they have a Brazilian fighter every single fight, and then every single Brazilian fighter wins, and then the fucking whole crowd goes crazy. Like, that would be absolute insanity. What if that happens? That would be actually fucking crazy. But because of superstition, because of just how I think karma works, luck works, all that shit, the universe works, I think only co-main event or main event, a Brazilian gets the gold. Okay, like one of them, not both. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend my Brazilians. I fucking love all you guys. I think giving you guys enough shout outs. So it's just like, okay, I'm not going to be sad if you guys win both. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, okay, let me get into the main event though. Light heavyweight championship fight. And this is after the drama that happened in December, where Jiří Procházka gets injured before fighting Glover Teixeira for the belt, or defending the belt. Then Jan Blachowicz goes against Ankalaev, I think, Magomed Ankalaev. Yeah, that's his name. And then they ended up tying that game. So it was, what was the fucking official word? I forget. But it was tied, so like no decision. So still no one got the light heavyweight belt, and that was for the belt. And now still vacant. They said, Glover, you were supposed to fight. Now we give you a new fight against number 7 ranked contender in the light heavyweight division, Jamal Hill. And this guy's a fucking savage too. Jamal Hill, like, he is a very, very precise striker. And this is another fight where it's a veteran elite versus the new generation elite. Like, Jamal Hill, I think, has done everything to prove that he's definitely an elite light heavyweight fighter. And he's done everything. I think he's done everything to prove that he should get a title shot, which he does now. And oh my God, you are going against a dude who's 12 years older than you, who has so many years more worth of experience in a cage, in fighting, in MMA. Glover Teixeira is a freaking savage, okay? 43 years old, and still, considering he was the light heavyweight champion at 42 years old, it's insane. Hill is very, very dangerous standing up. Like I said, he has elite striking. But Glover has proven that elite striking is actually not a huge threat. If Glover's on top of his game, he could also stand up with, the top. He proved that by fighting against Yuri Prohaska. He was standing and banging with him the whole time. Even though they did go on the ground every now and then, Glover Teixeira was not afraid to stand up with Yuri Prohaska. So I think the only thing, though, that Jamal Hill might be able to take advantage of if you watch enough tape of the Prohaska fight is if he pushes the pace much more intense than Yuri Prohaska does. I don't know if Jamal Hill is more well conditioned than Yuri Prohaska. Who knows? I would assume no, because Yuri Prohaska is a fucking savage, and you'd assume that he's pretty much the best conditioned light heavyweight there is. But I'm just saying, if Hill can push that pace and catch Glover Teixeira off guard by having an intense high pace, then I think that's the best game plan Jamal Hill can put together to be able to defeat Glover Teixeira. But if he doesn't do that, and you give Glover Teixeira a chance to close the distance, get you on the ground, then it's going to be real difficult. Because I think, actually, if we're still talking weight wise, I think Glover Teixeira is heavier than oh no, they're both equal. They're both equal. Okay. Yeah, we're just talking. Yeah, Jamal Hill just has longer limbs and is taller. So yeah, standing up, Glover Teixeira needs to be careful. He can't make a single mistake. But if he wants to stay up there, let him be. And Jamal Hill, just don't get on the ground, because that 43-year-old Brazilian savage is going to grab a hold of your limbs, and he won't fucking let go until you fucking tap, okay? So, yeah, if Glover gets Hill on the ground, then I'm saying within 3 rounds it's done. Like, if Jamal Hill has no answer to Glover Teixeira trying to get him on the ground in 3 rounds, then I think Glover is going to be able to get the finish within 3. I think I'm going to be rooting for, like, wholeheartedly for Glover Teixeira. I think just the savagery he has, being that age and still just being, like, so high level. It's just, there's so much respect. So much freaking respect, He could call it quits. He could be coaching, bringing up the next generation, but he has that fire in him still, which is amazing, which is absolutely amazing. And he still has that positivity and excitement for fighting, like he would be, like, if he was youthful. So, man, it's just so cool. But I mean, if Jamal Hill catches Glover Teixeira, all the best to Hill. I think he deserves it. I think he's proven. And it would just put the light heavyweight, division in a whole other freaking spin that I would fucking, more as a fan, more than likely have. So, fuck it. Let's just add fuel to the fire, and I know for sure UFC 283 in Brazil is going to be fire. I'm going to be following along the whole goddamn time. The crowd's going to be crazy. I'm going to be vibing with those motherfucking savages and the South Americans. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. All right. Let's, last little itty bitty here. Let's talk about the NBA, dude. Because things are changing now. I can officially say that things have been taking a turn or two. It ain't the same as all the other times when I've been like, some teams doing better, some teams doing a little worse, and pretty much the same otherwise. So let's just start off with this stat, and this is all I pretty much want to talk about. It's currently day 19 of 2023. 19 days we're into 2023, and there has already been 23 different performances that has been 40 points or more. So 23 times a player has dropped a 40 bomb this year, this calendar year already. Absolute craziness. One of them being Lauri Markkanen, my fucking boy. Only other white boy that hit a 40 bomb other than Lauri Markkanen was the GOAT, Luka Doncic. So, that's all I really have to say about how fucking good Lauri Markkanen is now. He's dropping fucking highlights, dunks, fucking plays every single game that he's playing. So what are we talking about? That man's rocking it. Gonna be an all-star. Gonna be most improved player for sure. Yeah, and out of all those 23 different 40 bombs, Donovan Mitchell, Spider, LeBron James, the King, and Damian Lillard, Dame Time, have those three athletes has 240 pieces already this year, which is just fucking insane. It comes to kind of show who been carrying the offense a little bit. You can see that they definitely have a certain style of playing that team. So it's a good thing, but you kind of have to look at it also on the other perspective that, dude, then that means every other matchup, all the defensive coaches, they're all just saying yo, figure out this one or two ways to stop this one guy, and then you should be able to kind of contend or, do something against the team. Which is difficult because, dude, in the NBA, if one player is really good in a team, you can go pretty damn freaking far, dude. You can go pretty damn far. But I think it also just has to do a lot with how the game's been evolving around the years, and now we just really you give the ball to one guy, he can do a lot if he's that guy, and most teams have that one guy, and the teams that don't have that one guy, they're the teams that definitely struggle. But then again, you could have teams that don't have one guy, but the coach and the staff do a really good job on really creating a team. But then, of course, the elite teams are always the teams that have the best players, but they play perfectly in unison with the team as well, with the other players. So let's talk about these fucking teams. What are we talking about? So let's talk about the West. I've been saying for a few weeks now it's the wild, wild West, but I actually think it's not super, super wild anymore. I will say the ones that are running the fucking West is the Grizzlies. Memphis boys are currently hitting form. What do we have? 2 months until the playoffs. And my goodness, the Grizzlies are just hitting that form. And if they have this pace of winning compared to losing until the end of the season, then regular season, then man, they are gonna get pretty damn far in the off season as well. They are currently on a 11-game winning streak and just absolutely running through the freaking opponents right now. They are a team that have just a very impressive teamwork, and they rarely make mistakes, and they have a lot of trust in each other, and they're just playing pretty damn near perfect ball. They got Ja Morant, they got Dylan Brooks, they got, they're just putting in the fucking work right now and ballin'. West Conference, someone that's not doing so hot. We have the Houston Rockets currently on a 12-loss streak. I'm not going to talk too much about it. What are you going to do? Unfortunately, you got like one good player there. Otherwise, y'all are struggling. So I'm just going to lay off you guys. But Suns are currently struggling a lot as well. 1-9 their last 10 games. Currently 12th seed in the West, which is not no, guys. Come on, you made the finals a couple years ago. You were supposed to win that. You were supposed to make the finals last year. You guys chalked that. You guys still have the same players, basically. You still have the same talent. What are we doing? What are we doing? Y'all got to get it together. Get it together. Because everybody wants to see you guys win. NBA is lit when the Suns are winning. NBA is not so lit when the Suns aren't winning. So just win. Please. Win. Win. But if we're talking about the West Conference overall, Nuggets and Grizzlies, I think, are kind of the one teams that are going to be pulling away from the rest of the pack. Because right now, Nuggets and the Grizzlies, they're both at 13 losses. They have one game difference between wins. Nuggets got one more win than the Grizzlies, but that just means one more game played. But both those two teams, they're pulling away from the rest of the pack, because even if the Kings are third seed right now, they're only at 25 wins and 18 losses. So, you can see there is a difference, and I have a feeling that Nuggets and Grizzlies, they're playing a lot different than the rest of the Western teams. So I think they're going to start pulling away and solidifying their spot in the Western Conference for sure. That's my opinion. But from there, third seed all the way to 13th seed, a lot could still happen. LA Lakers, they're 13th seed, but they're 20-25. That's their record. Sacramento Kings, they're third seed. They're 25-18. So it's not like the biggest difference. Who knows what can happen in 2 months? But as of right now, I think there are a few dominant teams in the West that are going to be difficult to freaking catch up to. But if we're talking about the East, then I think East is pretty much still like the same vibe as I was saying before, where there's the top teams, elite teams, and then there's a bit of a gap. Celtics, I've only been talking about how good the Celtics are in the East, but Celtics right now still the best in the East, and on a 7-game win streak, and 8-2 the last 10 games, leading the East. And they're currently first seed, and even compared to the second seed, they got 4 more wins than the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the second seed, and they got 4 less losses. So you can even make the argument that the Celtics have a fucking, a bit of a skill gap compared to the second seed, which are the Bucks. So I would almost say the Celtics are on a different level. They made the finals last year. They're still as strong as last year. They are very, very fucking dangerous. I don't know what to say. They play very beautiful defense as a team, and then you still have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum just putting up freaking numbers all the time. Jason Tatum had a 40 bomb, and Jaylen Brown had a 40 bomb. When I was talking about the players who have scored 40 bombs this calendar year, they're both on that fucking list. So Celtics, they're looking freaking good. They very might well just they might fucking just make the finals easily. That's how I'm feeling right now. If we're talking about who's doing not so well in the East, it's the Pacers. They're on a 5-game losing streak, and 4-6 their last 10 games. They're just going through the fucking, halfway through the season blender. I'm not gonna talk too in depth about it. They got to do what they got to do. Sometimes you go in the blender, sometimes you don't. You pull yourself out, sometimes you just get consumed. Who knows? But I still have the solid opinion that I think that the top five of the East, they're kind of on a different level than the rest of the teams. The cutoff is at Cavaliers. I think Cavaliers from 5 going up to 1. So Cavaliers, Nets, 76ers, Bucks, Celtics. I think they all are a slightly different level to everyone else underneath. For example, Heat, Knicks, Hawks, Bulls, Pacers. So I think those teams that are kind of like in the playoff contention bubble, it's going to be hard to make that top 5. Yeah, it's going to be more. There's going to be a good solid pack of teams in the East that are going to be fighting for the playoff spots, last few playoff spots, where it's different in the East, where maybe 1 or 2 are guaranteed, but the rest is like a lot of teams could still make the playoffs. And who knows, everything can flip fucking upside down at the end of the day. But just because, playoffs are not like the furthest thing away from NBA. I know there's still a solid few months, but still you got to start thinking about it. We're halfway there at this point. So yeah, that's the way the NBA's been balling. The players have been fucking balling, that's for sure. Brazil, they're gonna be balling, and if a Brazilian loses, they're gonna be balling their eyes out. NFL divisional round, balling, all of them balling. At what cost? Yeah, the cost is no Super Bowl, no bonus, no extra bonus. The cost, it's all there. CTE, pretty much 2 out of 3 sports I have. That's the cost. I'm just saying, it's all for the sport. It's for the entertainment. It's for the cash money. It's for fucking inspiring the kids, dude. Fucking all of it. So that's why we ball at any fucking cost. We ball. I'm going to have a wonderful weekend. Fucking just absolutely enjoying it. It's Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. I'm going to be fucking having an awesome time. Blessed time. Watching sports. Friday to fucking Sunday. I'm already balling today. It's the anniversary since I've come out of my mother's, private parts. So I'm fucking pretty hyped about that, and fucking, we're just gonna get this party started right here, right now. Ballin' at what cost? See y'all later.